Hello! Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here today, hello. It's an interesting time we have over here, isn't it? Well, you wouldn't know if this is your first time watching a video from me, but I have bangs now. If you couldn't tell, they're here and they're thriving. I have an interesting story about the day that I got them cut and the experience with that. Currently the cut that I have on them, let's take these out. Ow! Got caught on my nose. So this is the cut that I did myself after a little bit of having them the way that the hairdresser did them. I was like, nah, so I just like did them myself. I don't have any pictures of the day that I got them cut because the cowlick was like right here and it was literally huge. It was like about here. Imagine like that. It wasn't that thick because I did make them thicker when I recut them, but it was still bad. I'm getting big coconut head vibes and I've never been at my peak existence until now. It doesn't really feel like it, but it looks like it with this portion of my face. I'm just gonna be touching them up today. And then I'm going to be doing this. Not sponsored though. L'Oreal Paris ginger hair dye, sponsor me. So according to this, it'll look like either one of these swatches. Ooh, big words. I also did my eyebrows today, but you wouldn't be able to see it because coconut head vibes. Ooh, that one. I cut it too short here. So I'm just gonna keep cutting it. Okay. Solutions. I just cut my eyebrow, bro. I think I'm okay. I don't think it broke skin. I say that and then it just starts gushing blood. Oh, we're not gonna manifest that. Oh, that was a very confident cut there. How do we feel about the bangs? Are we a fan? Are we not? Or is it just the way that I cut them? Like this part is fine. It's just blending the sides that I have issues with. Have you ever seen me and Coconut Head in the same room though? Be honest. No, you haven't. Stop. So now I'm going to get this mixed and prepared. The other dye that I've been using, the semi-permanent, it doesn't have a smell. It's basically like conditioner. If you've dyed your hair at home before, you know how strong it is, and I can't just like have it in my room. I'll see you when I'm back. Okay, so I show up to the appointment and I'm waiting outside and then she calls me in and she's already working on another girl's hair, and that's totally fine because she was the only hair salon, or what? She was the only hairstylist in there, and I guess she was just doing it all for the day. And I'm like, that's cool, live your life, girl. So she puts me in this other seat and I'm waiting, and I wait for 15 minutes, which is fine. I didn't register that I made an appointment at the wrong salon at the time. I realized the next day. So when I first get in there and I'm waiting for the 15 minutes, I'm looking around and I'm like, this is strange. It doesn't look like the pictures. Yeah, it didn't. Because it was a completely different building. So, yeah, I assume it wouldn't look exactly like the pictures. And then after she gets the other girl done and she leaves, she comes over and then she's like, okay, what are we doing? And I'm like, I want you to trim up the cut on like the bottom because I didn't cut it completely straight, you know? So that's what I wanted her to do. And then I was like, and I also want bangs, like straight bangs. So she asked me if I want her to wash my hair. And then she's like, if you want me to wash it, it'll be $40. If you want me to just cut it dry, it'll be $25. And I was like, sold. Save me time and money? That's a home run. So I think she cut the main part on the bottom first before she did the bangs. So she goes around and she's doing that. And then she's like, okay, so now we're gonna do like the bangs. And I'm like, yes girl, get it. She takes a chunk of hair and she just twists it like this. And it's like it's a fat chunk that she's like holding and twisting. And she's holding the scissors. And I was like, I want them to be thinner than that. Like I don't want them to be half of my face. So respectfully, I'm like, I don't want them to be that thick. But I was kind of panicked because like she looked like she was going in and I'm like, no. And everything that I was trying to tell her, this is what annoys me the most about the entire experience. It wasn't the fact that she thought she was like bougie and fancy and her time was worth like $1 billion a minute. Every time I would try to like explain what I wanted to her, she would cut me off. So she takes the smaller chunk of hair and then she just cuts it straight across after twisting it. Technique on point, I guess. Hello! I have orange hair now. Personally, I like it. But I think eventually I'll just go like full black or like dark brown or whatever. So it doesn't matter what the color is, but I do really like this for me. The first night that like after I washed it out and I looked at it, I was a little like, I wasn't really disappointed. I knew exactly what it was gonna look like and I'm actually really surprised that it came out this vibrant. I don't know, I really like it. And it'd be really cute, like wavy and curly and stuff, but I really love just having cute straightened hair. If I have it half up, the underlayers like this show. Oh, that's so cute too. I love this color for me. I really do. It gives me Halloween vibes. Speaking of which, I'm going to be doing pumpkin carving tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow or the day after, I'm not sure. But yeah. So yeah, she just was not listening to what I was saying and being sassy. And then she was like, oh yeah, you cut your hair yourself? And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, oh really? I think you could be a hairdresser. And I'm like, cool. Like I don't want to be, but cool. Apparently she was like really good and known for doing like blonde hair and stuff. And I obviously said blonde hair. So I just asked her, I'm like, theoretically, if I wanted to get my hair like fully bleached or like highlighted or whatever, what do you think that would like cost me, just like estimated? And then she was like, oh, for you, it would be like 150. And then I was like, okay, that's not too bad. And then she's like, to start. And then every other bowl of bleach or something is like $35. And then she was just like listing off all these different expenses that I would have to do. And then she was like, you would have to come back 3 separate sessions. Then I would have to tone it for you. And I'm like, I've toned my hair before. I know how to tone my hair. And then she was like, I have to tone it for you. If you're so adamant, you say that you absolutely have to do it because I am so incapable, fine. But also, if you told me that you thought I could be a hairdresser, why would I not be able to tone my hair? And she's like touching up the bottom and everything. And there's people waiting outside because her schedule was behind 15 minutes. And then you could tell, like, as soon as there were people waiting outside, she was starting to like try to rush me along, like rush me out. And I'm like, girl, I basically just got here and I waited 15 minutes for nothing. It actually was pretty straight from the, you know, twisting method. I didn't know that that was a thing that people did, a technique. And then after she cuts them, I'm like, oh, can you like blend them in? Because I wear my hair up a lot, so I want them to be blended down like so. Immediately she was just like, oh my gosh, you should have told me that before. Like I would have cut them completely differently. Like first of all, girl, I think that was the only technique that you knew. She told me like 4 or 5 times and she was just getting more aggressive and literally like yelling at me. She literally took like 2 pieces from the side, blends it down, she takes a step back and then she's like, I can't cut anymore, it's gonna ruin like the whole thing, you should have told me before. And I was like, well, I was trying to tell you things and you just kept cutting me off. But like obviously I didn't say that because I was uncomfortable and I just wanted to leave. I was like, girl, it's already done. If you say you can't do anything else, just let me leave. And then she starts telling me in like a nicer way, but it was very condescending. She's like, just make sure that you know what you want when you come in next time, okay? And I'm like, oh. We get done everything and I'm just eager to leave. I pay her the $25. She holds the door open for me and as I am walking out, she just has to say again, yeah, just make sure next time you just know what you want before you come in. And I was like, okay. And I just walk out. And then I was looking at my bangs and they weren't even that good. I did a better job myself. And I'm like, I could have saved $25 and this super weird experience. And then later that night, my sister looked up reviews for that salon and this lady, she had like this whole long message and she was like, I went in there, I was in there for 3 hours, I spent over $300 and there was before and after pictures. Apparently she wanted like highlights or something, like blonde highlights in her dark brown hair, and the pictures were like almost exactly the same. Maybe like a single strand of hair was like a lighter shade of brown. It wasn't even blonde. It was just a lighter brown. And then she shared the screenshots because she messaged the hairdresser, and I assume it was the same lady that did my hair because she was just very, very similar. And then after she sends this whole long message to the hairdresser replies with like a whole list of everything that she did for her and like all the different steps and every price for everything, which is like exactly what she was doing to me. She was like, I did all these fancy things. And then she was like, and that's why I'd equaled about $300. And then a couple lines down, she ends it with, I'm not giving you a refund. How can you be so disrespectful and just suck? And then expect people to think that you're like amazing and praise you for your work. Like, you don't do anything. A little word of advice for anyone that may be going to get their hair done soon. Just make sure that you know what you want before you go. Or else.